In this book, I am not primarily concerned with the question of whether cancel culture exists or whether it is largely a media phenomenon. Rather, I rely on a term used by Eric Goode and Nachman Ben Yehuda in their book Moral Panics, that of disproportionality. Moral panics are usually based on a possibly significant but limited set of real events. Child abductions do happen, some teenage music fans do commit suicide, gangs do recruit young people and commit crimes. But as the panic goes on, the objective frequency of the phenomenon and its media presence diverge. The panic proceeds by expanding what counts as evidence for its central premise. Through overblown statistics and misreported anecdotes, suddenly anything counts. Public concern is in excess of what is appropriate if concern were directly proportional to objective harm. My argument proceeds from the observation that the discourse around cancel culture has exactly this kind of proportionality problem. In this chapter, I will argue that attempts to capture cancel culture in data are largely failures. But I also want to show that they are interesting, deeply telling failures, since they reveal certain ambiguities in the discourse, whether strategic or unconscious. These ambiguities, in turn, likely explain the remarkable speed with which concerns about cancel culture have established themselves in our media landscape and the ease with which they have traveled from U.S. newspapers and magazines to very different media environments globally. Both in the United States and abroad, cancel culture discourses propose that we are living through a rising tide of, usually left-wing, censoriousness. Those warning of cancel culture point to a tendency in public debate, especially in various online forums, towards dialing up criticism almost from the word go, and to an over-reliance on ad hominem attacks. Outside of the context of social media, descriptions usually identify a form of criticism that is more punitive than in the past, that is intended to prevent the other person from further expressing their opinions, deplatforming, that is well organized, the famous Twitter mob, and that also comes to encompass the defenders of the person attacked in its punitive actions, what is sometimes called a secondary boycott. Secondly, cancel culture is understood as the retrospective erasure of unpopular artists and public figures, especially as a synecdoche of what cancel culture critics describe as a more general project of historical erasure. When the philosopher Omri Bohm wrote in a German-language article about a fight over a statue of the philosopher Immanuel Kant, a surprisingly frequent subject of German-language cancel culture fights, he was at pains to emphasize that the debate was part of something much more ominous. "We are not toppling an old man," Bohm wrote, "let alone any particular monument. What is at stake is the fate of universalistic thinking." Canceling thus attacks specific individuals, but behind that attack lurks a broader attack on the premises of the liberal democratic order. It is, as the subtitle of Alan Dershowitz's book on the topic has it, the latest assault on free speech and due process.